Hi Virgo, I hope you guys are doing great. This is going to be a general message for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks in November 2019. Guys, if the messages don't resonate, please don't try to make them fit. It's just not your message. So definitely check your rising sign, which is your personality, right? How you view the world, how the world views you. Your moon sign, which is how you process emotions. Your Venus sign, which is how you do connections, and how you view money, okay? So let's start by pulling a Crowning Energy by the Sacred Rebels deck. Let's see what kind of messages we get. Hopefully you have something specific on your heart that you're looking for answers for in this reading. Pandora's Gift, beautiful. So you're going to be giving messages for relationships as well as career and as well as family. I'm going to try to give it as general as I can, and you apply the messages as you see fit. So, Pandora, beautiful card. You guys can see her. You know, there's a mythic woman, much maligned throughout history, whose name means all gifted, right? So Pandora lives within all of us. It's our curious nature, that part of us that yearns to conquer chaos and evil and darkness with the light of knowledge, right? She's the hopeful voice of our soul that asks the questions, and in doing so ends up triggering the process that brings the answers that we're looking for. And sometimes it's through uncomfortable learning that we find our treasure. So, you know, she reminds us that the process of learning can take us to places that seem like an end of our world in a way, you know, yet in a bigger way, all is not lost. There are always lessons there. So even now, the light within you, Virgo, is stirring for a new revelation, like a new path, a new life for yourself, and you feel it. Pandora's she's all gifted and all giving. Right, so getting this card is inviting you to let go of your belief in judgment. Now is the time to surrender the misplaced guilt that you might have, you know, brought upon yourself or someone else for something really terrible that's gone on. It's a time to let go of the shame-based belief in punishment. This is a belief that you deserve to be brought to task over any perceived imperfection, right? Or that your natural human journey somehow renders you inadequate. I mean, it's silly and crazy actually at best, right? Because we're human. We are in the human condition, right? But Pandora frees the soul from such torment, and this is her gift. So the human journey necessarily involves learning through experience, does it not, right? So there's no shame in your learning process. So this does indicate the sign of a new time, a time to swap the notion of inherent shame for the acceptance of inherent acceptance from this moment on, you know, just letting go of any judgments, you know. And every archetype has their high vibrational versions of themselves and the lower vibrational versions of themselves. We all have it, right? And you know, I think you guys know, right? Obviously, Virgos, when you're feeling down and in a lower vibration of yourself, you're very, very critical, very judgmental of yourself as well as others, right? I mean, but you don't put upon other people what you don't actually put upon yourself as well, right? So the advice here is, though, to try to let go of that and just open up to being a lot more understanding and accepting, because judgment can serve as a roadblock in our soul, and that's going to get in the way of you being able to manifest something in the way that you really want. And the ultimate message here is that there's this seed that really wants to crack open and be born, right? That's inside of you. That's very necessary. I feel like this is something very necessary that needs to come to light, right? But in order for you to do that, you have to let go of judgment and really let go of anyone who judges you the same way. I mean, just like walk the other way, just rise above. And I know that's so hard, but just know better, you know, and keep yourself open, keep your soul, and just breathe very deeply into your belly, very deep belly breaths, and just let things go. And really open yourself up, but don't attach too strongly to any one particular outcome. Envision something for yourself that you want. Envision it like it's in your life right now. What does it feel like? What does it smell like there? All of that. Take a few minutes to do that, and then let it go. And then let it go. Release the attachment to it. No judgment, no guilt, nothing. And that's how you're going to be able to manifest something into your life. So let's pull some energies for where you're at right now, Virgo. These last 2 weeks of November. Lots of beautiful energies, beautiful supporting energies, honestly. But I'm going to be doing a separate reading for doing a tarot pull, but for the transit energies. Some of you guys like when I put the transits in the tarot readings, but a lot of you don't. So why not separate it, make everybody happy, right? Okay. Cards feel confused, if that makes sense. Oop, oop. Popping and going back in. Messages for Virgo. Ooh, I like you got the Ace of Cups. I'm liking that. Okay, Virgo, Ace of Cups. I feel like that wants to come out. Let's get one more. Okay, one more, please. For where? Okay. Where Virgo is at right now. Okay. Okay, Virgo. So, Ace of Cups is a new beginning for you. New beginning. We have the Five of Swords. So there's an argument. Getting support. But you're not opening up your heart to something. So I feel like you have the opportunity for a new beginning here. So if this has to do with relationship, I feel like this, for those of you who are in relationships already, this is your partner wanting to have a new cycle, a new start within the confines of your relationship with you, right? Because even if you've been together forever, the ebb and flow is always happening within relationships, right? So this is even if you're in a relationship. So for others of you, I'm getting many of you have been in no contact, or you've been on a break, or you haven't been together, and there's an opportunity here for a new beginning with somebody. But I feel like you're in a space of not really wanting to open up and give your heart. And there was an argument here. The Five of Swords is really about, the fight for what's true. So there's, when we're fighting for our truth to come across, of course egos are going to be involved, and that does get quite messy. There's typically a lot of deflection involved in this, one way or another. Maybe even some gaslighting. I mean, it gets ugly, right, with the swords. Think about that. But I feel like this situation happened, this fight, this Five of Swords fight. But there's still very much this willingness to want to work this out and have this connection. This is somebody really wanting this connection with you, Virgo. So if it has to do with a relationship, I feel like somebody really wants a new beginning with you. And you're having a really hard time opening up your heart because there was this fight and a lot of things came out as a result of this fight. But yet this person is very willing. The Pentacle energy is about money, resources, but it's also how we do connection and communication. So I feel like somebody wants to come in with new communication and really kind of talk to you about some truth and talk to you about how things were framed up until now and where they feel the changes need to take place. But there's a sense of willingness here because there's a sense of they have the desire to show up at the table and do the work that's necessary. So that has to do with relationship. Now, if it has nothing to do with the relationship, I feel that some of you are going to be either getting a new job with this Ace of Cups. So he's going to be offering you a new job, but you're going to feel very trepidatious about taking it. So this can be because you're afraid of leaving where you are right now, ending where you are right now, even though you know this may be a pretty good opportunity, but you're just not trusting something about it. Maybe you're not trusting the person who's offering it to you. This doesn't have to be a brand spanking new job, though, too. This can be maybe you're transferring to another department, or maybe somebody wants to come on as an additional business partner, or you have the opportunity for expansion within your business and you're just not trusting it. Anything like that. You could certainly just be a different form of where you're at right now, but you really not trusting it. And I feel for those of you who are dealing with this having to do with business, if you're dealing with a business partner, I feel like there's been a lot of discord. And even though they're trying to make nice with everything, you just don't trust it. That's for those of you who are dealing with a business partner. For others of you who are not, and you're dealing with more of like a corporate or some more global setting like that, I feel like you're in a space of internal conflict, really wanting to have a new beginning within the confines of this position, but you're just not trusting it. There's something about it that you're just not trusting. And I feel like it's because, you've trusted situations and people before when it comes to situations like this, and you've been burnt. You've been burnt. You're remembering that you've been burnt. Yeah. Let me just pull another couple of cards, okay? If this is relationship, can I get a couple more cards for the Five of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles? Because these two are very clear to me. Nine of Swords, okay. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you're holding fast to your cups there, for sure. We get the Nine of Swords energy. In the reverse, it's a lot actually more positive than it is in the upright. This shows that you're starting to come out of the lowest part of this time of self-imprisonment within your own head, you know, where you're on that hamster wheel in your own head of going things over, and this happened and that happened, and then what if I do this, but what if I do that, and what if they do this, and what if things are never different, and, you know, they're offering me their cup, but, you know, you're just not believing in any change or any changes, right? Then we have the Seven of Wands. And then we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, so the Seven of Wands in reverse is telling me that you're just not willing to defend yourself anymore, Virgo. You just don't want to defend yourself anymore. It's really as simple as that. You're over it. You're just like, you're not doing it anymore. You find no value in it by continuing to go back over and over some situation where you're continuously in this space where you have to defend yourself. And it's like you're talking to a wall and you just don't want to deal with it. And the Seven of Swords is the card of thievery, but because it has to do with swords, it's about words and truth. So I always view this as like someone coming in and trying to bastardize your words and what you're thinking and feeling, right? Your value system, right? Coming in. And so this is somebody who's deflecting, you know, the truth, somebody who's doing a lot of gaslighting, you're just acting really, really inappropriately. And it's like they're offering you this new start out of this one end, but it's almost like they want the new start with you as long as you get back on board with them in the way that they want. And you can't have your own opinions about everything. Or if you do, they're not being heard or respected or heard as clearly as maybe they should be. Now, for those of you that this has to do with work, yeah, so you're ruminating, you're just stuck in this mental trap, this cycle. You're coming out of it, you're definitely coming out of it, but you've been stuck there because of this nasty fight that you guys had where you were feeling the need to defend yourself. And this is really putting you back on your heels and making you really unclear on if you even want to like take this next step. You know what I mean? It's like you've been through a lot with this person, and even though they're offering you their cup, you're having a really hard time processing everything in a believable way. Even if they're as sincere as all get out, it doesn't actually even matter here because, you know, you feel what you feel based on, you know, because listen, isn't that the way life goes, right? Sometimes, like I always say, once the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't put it back in. Sometimes when we know things, right, it's very hard, even if somebody wants a new beginning, it's very hard to just move past things sometimes, you know? It takes a lot of work. So let's pull some blockages. What's happening? Virgo in the area of blockages. Okay, we have a couple here. Queen of Pentacles, yeah. Page of Cups. Yeah, I mean, that's a challenge for you. The challenge is for you to feel open to accepting this new beginning, this new way, because you're feeling, fuck at these pentacles. Oh my goodness. Let's just keep talking. All right, Seven of Wands again. Yeah, I mean, you're feeling very blocked in opening up your heart to this situation. Because you honestly believe, as a block, you have the Four of Pentacles, which is telling me that you really don't believe that you're going to have what you need in this situation. It's going to end up back in the same thing, or end up in just in a space where you're not going to have what you need. It's really as simple as that. Because the Four of Pentacles is about, I'm good, I have what I need, I'm stable, I'm good. It's a four, and four is about stability, right? So, and Pentacles is about resources, and again, about emotional, physical, and mental health. So it's about you being in that, like, I'm good, and I like being good, and I feel like if I get into this thing, if I accept this new start with this person or the situation, I'm not going to end up being good. So I'm still, I feel like I need to hold on to my cup here. Seven of Wands, again, is about feeling very defensive, and this is a block for you. It's this constant feeling of that you need to defend yourself. That you need to defend yourself. And the fact that the Queen of Pentacles is here, it's like, Virgo, you know what you need. You know what you need, and you do not identify this person or this situation as being able to give you what you need, as far as if it has to do with the job, money, if it has to do with the relationship, commitment, communication, and connection in the way that you want. If it has to do with the friendship, somebody who's like your ride or die, you just don't believe in it. If it has to do with family, you just feel this inherent, it's like this feeling that you just feel like they can't be trusted. And this is all blocking you. These are blocks. All right. Understandable. I don't think any of those blocks are unreasonable. Let's just check out some blessings, though. How we're going to work through that. Because I do have such a positive vibe with this Pandora's gift. And I do like that you're really coming to terms with stuff here, though. I feel like you're laying it down with what you're willing to accept and what you're willing not to accept. I like the fact that you just don't want to keep defending yourself. Because it's that cycle, right? It's that cycle that we end up on over and over again, right? Ugh, isn't that just the most annoying thing? And it's so tough to evolve out of that, you know? And that can happen with anybody. It can happen with a family member, a friend. It's like, you know, but it really does come down to 4 different people can look at the same thing and walk away with 4 different perceptions. And then everybody's going to be digging their heels into the ground with their perception, and their perception being the right one, right? So it's nutty, right? Okay. Oh, we got the Emperor. I always feel like this Emperor looks like Ben Affleck. I don't know if you guys can see. It's so silly. I've said that once before. A couple of people agreed. I just think it's funny whenever I use this deck. So let's look at your blessings. Okay. So, yeah. Now, guys, I do want to say I really like reversals. I think there's so much value in them. I've been talking about them in my readings a lot because I've been getting a lot of questions about them. I believe in the value of them because I think it helps illuminate areas that really need extra focus, and because we have free will, we have the ability to turn it upright if we'd like to, you know. But sometimes the reversals are actually a lot more positive than in the upright, and sometimes it just means that it's coming. It's just going to take a minute. So I think there's a lot of value in reversal. So as far as blessings go, let's take a look. We have the 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands in the upright is about victory. And I feel like the blessing here is in not having victory up until this point, Virgo. Because whatever has eluded you up until now is not meant for your higher good. And the lesson here is that there are certain things that are meant to evolve into being like dead wood in your life. So when you shake your tree, that stuff falls off and falls away. So things that maybe you were very upset about at one time, not coming to fruition, the reason for things not coming to fruition and things happening are really going to start to show themselves, you know, really start to show themselves here. And then we have the Star card. So the Star card to me is still very positive. It's just a process. And the Star is all about forgiveness. And it's forgiveness with angelic blessings. Normally it's the 7 sisters, but obviously you can see it's a lot more than 7 stars. But this is about forgiveness and beautiful spiritual guidance and finding that space of forgiveness. But I feel like the blessing here, Virgo, is that someone doesn't deserve your forgiveness straight away. I feel like something needs to burn away and die away in your life in order for you to evolve into this next chapter of your life. And by forgiving this person or accepting the situation, you're only prolonging the inevitable and perpetuating something that serves no real purpose in your life. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune as the center card, which I really love this because this is all about free will. And I'm all about that, right? Even with tarot. So we look at the cards that surround it to get a better idea of it. Now it is, in the upright, it is typically positive, but it's this idea and this reminder that guess what? You do have free will. Tarot shouldn't do all the speaking for you. You have to be very tuned in and turned on to your intuition at this time. And then you have the Sun, which is still entirely positive in the reverse. The reverse only means that it's just going to take a minute. Think about the idea of traveling, right? So it's the time if you live in house A and you're moving to house C. So you know that you're going to be moving to house C. You bought the house and everything, but you still need to pack up house A and get everything in order and then and then move, calculated move to house C, right? So it's the minute, right, for this transition to happen, but it's definitely happening. And also what I love about the sun is it does illuminate any potentially negative cards around it in the spread. So I love that you got this next to the Wheel of Fortune, because whenever we're looking at this, like I said a few minutes ago, we always want to look at the surrounding cards to see if it's going to be driven in a positive or maybe in a less than positive way. And that is certainly positive. And you are going to be standing in your power, Virgo, like nobody's business. You're the Emperor here. This blessing is that you are going to feel so empowered. And you're going to be in charge, but in a really healthy way. Because think about the Emperor. The Emperor is the leader of the tarot. And what makes a good leader, a good transformational leader, is someone who understands empathy and compromise and communication and honesty and what's required. And I feel like you're very much tapping into what's necessary to make something happen here for yourself. So beautiful, beautiful blessings. I really like those. Awesome. Now let's check out what's going to happen in the outcome for you guys. What's the outcome for Virgo? Outcome for Virgo. Spirit, any messages that Virgo needs to know for the last 2 weeks of November 2019? Any messages that come out for Virgo? Messages for Virgo 2019. Last 2 weeks of November 2019. Messages. Okay. I keep seeing the Tower and the Devil. Tower, Devil, and the Sun. Tower, Devil, and the Sun. I'm just going to pull. Let's see what this guy is. Knight of Swords. Okay, good. Death reverse. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, we have the Star reverse. Let's pull a couple more. Again. Okay, good. All right, so we have the Star reverse. Yeah. So listen, you are holding fast to something. You are not forgiving somebody for something, Virgo. And there's an ending of a cycle here. There's an ending of a cycle. You're not free. And the thing is this. This is not because you're not being gracious or reasonable or anything like that. This is you identifying that there was a situation that was very unhealthy for your well-being. And I get that this is something that's happened perhaps before, but you were just so forgiving about it. And I feel like you're just not willing to forgive at this point. Because the Death reverse does indicate that it's the ending of a cycle, but with a lot of, there's like this definitive like feeling of either anger or bitterness or resentment or betrayal, and you're ending that cycle. But whenever the energies are always swapped, right? So I feel like there's a swapping away of one cycle and another cycle is coming in. But between the Star reverse and between the Death card, we have the Two of Pentacles. And this is you being stuck on making a decision. This is with a heavy heart you're doing this, Virgo, but I feel like you know that this is for your higher good. I do. So the Two of Pentacles, like, what should I choose? This one, that one, But I feel like, in a way, too, you feel like this choice is almost not even a choice at this point because of somebody's behaviors and choices somebody else made getting in the way of it actually being two real paths for you to choose from, but you're still feeling confused about moving forward on one path over the other. But we have the Knight of Swords, and I do get that somebody's going to be coming in and really asking for your forgiveness. This is healing. This is forgiveness through healing. And I just don't feel like you're going to heal from this because you're not forgiving them. They really want forgiveness, though. They want forgiveness, but you can't give it to them because you feel like they're just too ego-driven and too selfish. And you're really just setting your sights on moving forward in your life right now with this Two of Wands energy. Because you're identifying them as somebody who's not they're there a little more too much for themselves than they can possibly be for you. But they're definitely coming in with a plea. With a plea. Let's get some more information. So healing is not happening and forgiveness isn't happening. Let's get some more information here. Yeah. Now this is a crazy amount of reversals, I do have to say, and I do want to just say before anybody asks, those of you who know tarot know that when you take them out of a deck, the second you do that first shuffle, if you're doing a really good shuffle, none of them are upright completely anymore. It's like not, meaning they're not all upright once you take it out of the box. Now, almost 30 years ago when I went to massage therapy school, I studied, he was a teacher having to do with herbalism that I was studying aside from massage in this particular school I was going to. And he was a shaman. He helped me to understand tarot in different ways, you know. And he was a real joy to work with. And we talked about this. And he said, what matters with cards is the intention driven behind it. So you should never manipulate. And this made sense to me, which is why this is the way I read and I pull. It doesn't matter how you pull the card, and none of that matters. What matters is the meditating that happens before it. Make sure that your cards are clean, which mine always are. I always sage them before. And the intention driven behind it. And the card is always going to land exactly as it's meant. So, not to digress, but I do get a lot of questions about that. All right. So, we have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is telling me that you've identified that this person or situation is just not going to be able to bring you what you need, and that they're full of secrets. They are. We have the Queen of Wands reverse, and then we have the Chariot reverse. The Chariot reverse indicates, think about like a car on a country road that loses its direction, right? Loses control of the steering wheel and ends up like lost in the forest, right? So this is indicating that somebody has gone off the deep end, has gone onto the wrong path. All right, and you're just not willing to stick around for it anymore. You don't trust them, and you're not going to have what you need out of this situation. So somebody has really defied your trust here, Virgo. Let's get more information on the Two of Wands, please. Because I like that energy, yeah. You were dealing with somebody who was very selfish. Yeah. Yeah, all right. But it's happening for you. You just need to, you have the Nine of Cups, which is about wish fulfillment. The Emperor energy is just a very low, those of you who know tarot know that we typically call the Emperor reverse the card of the narcissist. But that's almost so overused right now, but it's anything that would fall within the confines of that description, like somebody who gaslights, who tells you, what are you talking about? You're crazy. No, it was you. I never said that. What's wrong with you? You need help, or just basically claiming to not say things that they said, and deflecting and twisting truths and lying through omission and lying straight up and just not being honest to the cause and all of that. But then we have the Nine of Cups, which is about your wish fulfillment. And we have on the other side of that Eight of Cups reverse. So this is about you saying, you know what, I'm out of here. And you're going, you're leaving. It's like, this is not good for me. I gotta go. And this is you recognizing that, this is the checklist card. This is the card of you saying, like, look, they did A, B, and C, and that is so not okay with me. And I feel like there's so much disappointment here, but there's acceptance, and you are just moving on. Virgo, you're moving on. Yeah, and you're moving on. You're going to have exactly what you need. You're going to have everything you need with that Four of Pentacles. Justice. Justice. It's all about justice, Virgo. That's it. It comes down to what's right. Because there comes a point in life where we sit down and we say, okay, within the confines of reality, what's right and what's not. And you're standing in that. And you're bringing yourself a new narrative. You're opening up a new part of yourself. There is a new beginning for you. We have this beautiful Two of Wands. That's a new beginning. You got the world in your right hand. You're going to have everything that you need. Four of Pentacles. You're going to have exactly what you need. And you're going to really maintain. This is beautiful. And this is karma. This is karma which is happening here. But you're going to have a beautiful new beginning. I really like this for you. Virgo. Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.